just to show you, I do have my seatbelt on. Get comments all the time. Hey man, you're not wearing your seatbelt. Yes, I am. So we're headed to go get a haircut this morning and a beard trim this morning before we go to Atlanta. We're going to take the kids to, actually we're taking our church youth group to Dave and Buster's. Yay. It should be pretty fun. But you saw the video topic and get it out, try to make it a short video. Number one thing I hated about working in the corporate America world, and which is exactly the thing I love about working for myself. So they would always say things like, we're gonna empower our associates to make change, okay? No, you're not. So I worked for Walmart Logistics. So we had a distribution, well, it's still over here, distribution center, next town over, 1,100 people working there, 1.25 million square foot building. And they basically kept all of the Walmarts in our area stocked. I believe it was 135 stores or something like that. So all the freight that goes to 135 Walmarts, everything except the groceries, came through that building. It was wide open every day. And my last job there, I was a safety manager. It was me and one other guy, and we were responsible for the whole buildings. We had the safety and the compliance and stuff like that for government, state, Walmart policy. Walmart's a huge company, guys. It's the biggest company in the world. 2.4 million people work for Walmart. It's pretty crazy. And when you get a company that big, when you start getting to those sizes, the problem is the beast is so large that you can't really wield it anymore. You can't navigate it. So they would tell us things that they're gonna, empower us to make change, and these little cliche sayings, but nothing could be further from the truth, because we would have lots of great ideas as to things that we could do differently and improve the process, and nothing would ever happen with it. We'd have to get approval from so many different people, and all kind of stuff like that, that it just, nothing ever changed. And it was very frustrating because on the one hand, they expected you to do something. On the other hand, they tied it behind your back. And it's not that they meant to do that. It was just that the company was so big. Hold on a second. That's just kind of how it becomes. So, give you an example. Last year that I worked there, I left in February. The previous year, January to December, our building ranked as the #1 safest distribution center they had in the company for that year. That's a big deal. That's something that you may go 20 years without getting that kind of a recognition. So we were the safest for the year for the whole company, and huge accomplishment. So we wanted to feed everybody a steak dinner, and we fed people all the time there. We fed them all the time. Pretty much once a month, once every 6 weeks, we were feeding the entire building for some reason. And so we was like, hey, let's do a steak dinner for that milestone. When you hit a milestone and you don't recognize the milestone, you may as well not have hit one. So cool, we got permission from our direct boss, who was in AP Regional Asset Protection lady. We got approval from the GM of the building. He was like, hey, go for it. He was all about stuff like that. And it was the building's money that was getting spent. Each building had their own budget. So he was the one that had to sign off on the money. And so actually the week we were trying to pull it together, the executive VP over our Eastern Division of distribution centers, 13 distribution centers, this guy was in the building, and we told him, like, hey, we're going to do this steak dinner because we did this thing, Oh man, it's a great idea, man. It's a great idea. If I'm here, I'll eat a steak with you. Cool. So we go buy the steaks, we cook them, everybody's happy. We get a phone call a couple days later from some jackass in Arkansas wondering why we didn't get approval from him for a steak dinner for the whole building because it was safety related. Like, dude, just shut up, man. Just shut up. You want us to do the freaking job or not? And so it was around that time that I was getting really disgusted and fed up with, you go to work and you want to do a great job, and you buy into all the hype, and And then at some point you realize that it is just a job and you're working for somebody else. And it would be one thing if you could actually affect change and feel like you went home at the end of the week or the end of the month and you did something. But when you feel like you worked and worked and worked and worked and you put in so many hours and mentally just drained, emails out the butt, and then at the end of the week or the month, it doesn't feel like, I mean, you can go back into work and nothing looks any different. You know, nothing really moved or happened. So it's a very demoralizing type of a job. And so that's what really motivated me, along with my side business. The soft washing was really getting big. I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to quit and try to go full time doing my soft wash stuff. So fortunately, you know, almost a year and a half later, we know that it worked out, but at the time it was a little bit scary. But man, that's the biggest thing that I like about owning my own business is it all rises and falls on me. If I want to do something, I can just do it. I don't have to ask anybody. I don't have to, you know, get permission. What's the saying? It's easier to ask forgiveness than permission. I don't have to do either one of those. I just have to go do it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like the surfactant that we're working on. Maybe it's going to be great. Maybe it's, you know, we'll sell some of it and everybody will like it. Maybe it'll be crap. I don't know, but I'm going to try it and we're going to see, and it may launch a whole nother thing for us or not. But I don't have to go get permission from some jackass in Arkansas to be able to do it. I can just do it. And that's what I love about it, is not everybody's is wired that way. If you're entrepreneurial minded and you take ownership of things, it's going to be hard for you to work in a great big huge company where you can't really steer the beast, because you want to steer the beast, you want to do it. So owning your own business, man, it's great because it all rises and falls on me, right? And I don't have to get permission from anybody. So let's go get a haircut, guys. Hope y'all have a great weekend. Just wanted to make that quick video and let you know that was my favorite thing, other than making, you know, a good paycheck. That's actually my favorite thing about owning my own business, and that was the most hated thing I had when I went and used to work for Sam Walton. So hope y'all have a great weekend, guys. Check in with you next week.